Hey guys, I'm back with another video. This is something a little bit different for everybody. I thought I'd just introduce you to my entertainment and gaming side of things and my little collectibles and whatnot else. The reason why I thought I'd do this is actually just because I'm really stoked, because at the moment it's exactly where I want it to be. The amplifier over here had a huge update yesterday, and now I've spent, all afternoon yesterday and pretty much some of the night doing all my settings and stuff like that. Now the update itself, just to quickly bring you up to speed, the amplifier itself is a Sony STR-DN1080, and this amplifier, when I first got it, was off Amazon, and I'm actually using a transformer because it's an American one, but the box said that it had true 4K pass-through, and I thought that's brilliant because my Sony television, which is a 65X 8500D, only has, I repeat, only has 2 enhanced HDMI ports. It actually has 4 HDMI ports, but only 2 of them can be enhanced. So that is a bit restrictive, because for me, I actually have my PlayStation Pro 4K HDR. I have my Gears of War and normal Xbox One S, both of them 4K HDR. Then I have my Panasonic 4K HDR Blu-ray player, and for things like these ones here, which are all the 4K enhanced and everything like that, that's already full. And then I've already got pre-ordered Project Scorpio, and I was thinking, this is ridiculous. I've actually got 4 here at the moment, 4K capable units, but I only have 2 ports. And it was getting ridiculous. I had so many cords going and stuff like that, but now this is doing what it's supposed to do, which is absolutely amazing. It is definitely confirmed that it does all this. Everything. The only thing that I've got going on its own is the PlayStation Pro. That's a personal preference, especially when I'm playing, Destiny 2 or something like that, and I don't want to have it going through the amplifier. I know that this has HDMI pass-through, so you don't have to have the amplifier actually going. It still has to be in standby mode for it to still, pass the HDMI through to put it on the picture, but it's still, I just like to play, anyway, doesn't matter. So that's just going on its own through there, but then it comes through optical back to the actual the amplifier. But everything now, so these the Xboxes, they go straight through and straight through, which is amazing, because especially for all of these, they get decoded immediately, and you get fantastic sound. So anyway, that's that. That's all completely done now, and I spent ages on this. It looks a little bit jumbled on the back, as you can see there, but the other thing I incorporated into this, which is this guy here now, which is my Ethernet little port, and that's got an 8 port. So once I'm building a computer at the moment, which will be like a little server that'll go there, and it'll all be good. So now, coming from here, that goes all the way through, and yeah, so now I can have 7 different things going through the Ethernet instead of them all fighting for Wi-Fi and stuff, so that's brilliant now. So what I thought I'd do is take you for a bit of a walk through what I actually have and whatnot else. And so this is all new. So now this here turns on subwoofers. There's one over there, and there is one here, and so I've got the twin subwoofer. So this is all Sony as well. This was all another system that I actually have. Sorry if I don't pronounce it right, but M.A.S.K. There was a 7.2 surround sound. I've still got the other ones, the other surround sound speakers there. But I got the amplifier separately, as I said, on Amazon, and I thought I'd just incorporate this, and I had some other spare speakers, so I just sold the other amplifier with those speakers and kept these. And it's been amazing and whatnot else. So originally I had this one here somewhere, and I've just done it here. And the great thing about this amplifier is you set up like a little you know, speaker, and you just tell it to auto, you know, collaborate or configure, configure, and it does it all for you, and it sounds amazing now, so that's all good. So yeah, that's where we go. So I've got the one there, center one here. I've recently just got this here because I had a huge big entertainment unit, and it was just ridiculous. It was, you know, it was just wasted space really, and so this is exactly where I want it to be now, and I'm really happy. And as you said, there, another one there, and then my surround sounds and whatnot else. So there you go. So that's my surround sound. I guess I'll move on to the sort of the gaming console side of things. So as you can see here, I have my PlayStation Pro. This is upgraded to 2 terabyte, and that runs all my AAA games, Grand Theft Auto, and you know, Overwatch, and all that sort of stuff. And it's great. It's awesome. Move on to here. So this is, I've got like a little bit of a theme going. So I've got Microsoft here, and then I've got PlayStation here, and sort of try to keep them in sequence as well. So as you can see, PlayStation 1, and then, you know, Xbox, but I know that they kind of, that doesn't go together. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So on this guy, this is the original, and I've got some other, you know, a few emulators and whatnot else, but yeah, that's awesome. And the controllers for these are down here, and I've got like a M.A.S.K wireless for that one, and I've got just an original Xbox there, and that's it for that. But yeah, and then we move on to the Xbox 360, Gears of War. As I said, that's the 2 terabyte one. Xbox One S, just a normal, everyday 1 terabyte. Then I've got PlayStation 1. Now this one here has actually got, I don't know, a chip in it or something, and I get to play some other games, but I don't really use it for that. That was done so long ago. Here in Australia, it's a legal thing, which is weird. So anyway, this has got exactly the same thing happening. I had a chip put in it, and I can play different games, but again, I don't really do that. But yeah, that's the silver one. This was actually my son's. I got this for him so many years ago, and then it just happened to turn up when I moved here from out of storage and whatnot else. Then I've got the PlayStation 3. Again, this is the red, or the garnet, I think they call it. And I've upgraded that to a 1 terabyte. That's a hybrid. I've put a hybrid, you know, SSD and HDD together. And then this one has got the 2 terabyte as well. Now this, again, just sort of similar to this guy. These two here, with these two being my AAA consoles in PlayStation and in Microsoft, these ones here run my little games, like my smaller games, like for example, say like ukulele and you know, whatever else, all the sort of smaller ones that I don't want those other consoles to take up too much space and whatnot else, and works quite well. And then obviously we move down. I got my 4K Blu-ray, and then yeah, so we've got my controllers here, as you can see, Gears of War. Just quickly, this is, you know, awesome console. I mean, you know, that's, everybody always says, oh man, you've got, you know, what happened? I was like, no man, it's supposed to be like that. So yeah, so Gears of War controller, and then I've got Halo 5, and then I've got my clear. I actually don't mind clear controllers. There's something about them. So that's my Pro controller, and then I've got my 20th anniversary. There's a bit of a story behind that one, but it's still got a little bit of the plastic still on it and whatnot else. I kind of still use it from time to time, but not really. And then I've got my other Gears of War controller there, and then my Star Wars one. Did a good deal on my nephew for that one, but I swapped him a brand new Pro controller, and he was really happy with that. I didn't take it off him. And then I've got, yeah, obviously the Sony controller, and then the Xbox 360. Now, all of my consoles are a little bit different. It's just me in general, I guess. As I explained to you, my PlayStations are both both chipped, but they're something that I actually did here legally in Australia, and we actually used to, and we still do in some parts, especially over east, and I think there are still some here around in Western Australia as well, where they legally still chip them, so you can still get that done. But anyway, I had that one done. Now this one here, now correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this console here was originally supposed to be the original design for the Xbox One, and they kind of scrapped it, and then, you know, still put it out because they'd obviously made X amount of units and decided. So this is the Xbox 360e, and I left it at the 500 gigabyte. I was super lucky on that. I got it off eBay, and the guy said that it had never been used, and he was actually correct. So I got it, and it still had the Forza token in it that hadn't even been used. It was brand spanking new, so I was really lucky with that. So that controller down here is brand new. It's hard. I still play. I was even playing it last night. I was still playing a little bit of Alien Rage, which is, you know, very similar to Bulletstorm anyway, but a little bit harder. And yeah, it's a great console. I still enjoy it and whatnot else. And anyway, so there you go. So this is a bit of, you know, Xbox One here, and then I've got the PlayStation 4 games just here. I don't know, it just sort of looks a little bit better, and I don't know, keep it on display, I guess. So, and as you can see here, this is sort of my bit of my jumbled. Yes, I do have an Elite controller. It's awesome, and as you can see there, I have a few wireless and still got the original PlayStation 1. And I have the Kinect, I've still got the Kinect, and then I've still got my memory cards there, and, you know, a couple of bits and pieces, some rechargeable batteries and whatnot else. And yeah, that was my favourite, well, still is my favourite rugby team. But yeah, this was a rare thing they brought out in Australia. They did a couple of like different rugby ones, and these are, you know, an official licensed PlayStation or, you know, Sony product, and it's through the NRL, which is the National Rugby League. Anyway, so yeah, and then in this one, these are all sort of, you know, bits and pieces, all my bits and bobs from all my collectables and whatnot else, and some extra bits and pieces, and, you know, some movies that I've got. Yeah, and then I'll go on to my actually, you know what, I'll continue to go with the game side of things. So this is the PlayStation 1, as you can see here, and I don't have a hell of a lot of these. I actually have more down here in these things, because you know, over time you end up picking up a disc here and there, or the cover gets crushed or whatever. And so anyway, so these are a couple that I've held on to. I have moved a few on, but these are my sort of like my favorites as such, and bring back some memories. And yeah, you can see there, Die Hard trilogy was just, I don't know, crazy cool. Hogs of War just holds a dear place in my heart. It's an awesome little game. And here, like for example's sake, like Mr. Driller, I've been, you know, quite fortunate, because I had the console chipped so many years ago that I can still pick up, you know, NTSC games here and there if I want to, and whatnot else. So yeah, so moving on to Xbox. Oops. So this is the Xbox. I keep on going to say one, but it's not. And these are just a couple that I've picked up here and there. They're nothing that I really wanted to go for a full collection, but these are cool. These are cool games that I do play, and I'm happy to play, especially like things like Black and, you know, Area 51. You know, David Duchovny does, you know, the protagonist voice, and it's amazing, and it's heaps of fun and whatnot else. So yeah, so they're the original Xboxes. Here are my PlayStation 2s. Now, some of these are rare, some of these are not so rare, some of these are not really even all that great. But I guess it's just what I've had, and, you know, I'm a PlayStation fan from way back. So as you can see there, I actually have Area 51 on that as well. So some of these are really cool. Now this one here, I was watching a video on YouTube recently about Blast games and how rubbish they are. Now I'd already had this, but I haven't played it yet. Or I've played a little bit of it, but to begin with, I didn't think it was that rubbish. But that was a long time ago. But as you can see here, like I've got like ones, you know, rare ones like, you know, Driving Emotion, which is really hard to find. I think it was only released in Japan, and I can play that on mine. From Russia with Love was just great, and obviously the Grand Theft Auto series. Half-Life, you can't go past it. It's just, you know, too cool for school. And, you know, as you can see here, I've got a few of the whole throwback series games like Intermission and, you know, like 1942 and Activision and whatnot else. And yeah, and this is the other one that I've actually got, which is quite rare. I've got Manhunt. This is actually the PAL version. This is the one that was actually, you know, released in UK and is banned here in Australia, so that's pretty crazy. A Rockstar game as well. Midnight Club Dub 3 or 3 Dub Edition, that is amazing. And yeah, so there's a couple of like really cool ones. Like Nitro Bike is so much fun. It's just crazy cool. And then Simpsons Hit and Run. Wow, that's just a classic, isn't it? Really. And then as you can see, I got the Tato Legends and whatnot else, and Total Overdose. That was a surprisingly cool game. Moving on then, so we'll go back down this side. This is my Xbox 360 games. These are, again, been around for ages. Couldn't really get rid of them. Have got rid of some, and you know, sometimes come back to them. Like as you can see here, got BioShock, which is just awesome. I think the good thing about the BioShock on Xbox 360 is you can have the extra plasmids and stuff like that. You cannot get on, I don't think any other, you know, console, I don't think, or even on PC, and maybe you can, but that was what I liked about that one. I've kept that one. Condemned, which was just a psychological thriller, but was really good. It's worth a look, that one. And the good thing about this is that if you do have the Xbox One, and then you put this into the Xbox One, this will actually do, it will download. It just needs to know that you've actually got the disc. That's all Xbox One needs to know. If you've got the disc, it'll actually start to just download it digitally. But I think you get the Origins edition, which is a little bit different version, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, Doom, which is amazing, Fallout 3 and whatnot else. See, I liked playing the Fallout 3 or Fallout series on my Xbox 360 because it's just got the higher, I think it's the higher RAM that the PlayStation 3 did not, because I played copious amounts of Fallout on Fallout 3, but the more time play you actually do on it, the more tendency that it does to fill up that that memory and crash. I don't know how many times my PlayStation 3 crashed while playing Fallout. It was just crazy, but it never did on Xbox, so that was pretty cool for me. The Fear series, you can't go past that. It's awesome. And so yeah, so we've got the you can't go past Forza, really. I mean, that's just another thing, isn't it? It's just awesome, flat out. This here was pretty crazy. So I picked this up off eBay again, and when I got it, it didn't say anything about it being a special edition. So when I got it, I opened it and it had everything. Yeah, it had everything. I'm not joking. It had all of the special edition. I think I got it for like something silly, like $40-something or something. But the coolest, this was all in it. I don't know if you can actually see. Well, you can. So I have this little torch. I just leave it over there, and yeah, trips people out. But as you can see, it's just really cool. But that was actually in it. So that was one of my really awesome buys that I've got. I'm really tinny when it comes to these kind of things. I sort of bid or I watch and then I get it, and you know, it's something different to what I think, but it's always a good thing. Anyway, moving on. Left 4 Dead. On the Midway, this is a really cool game, man. Like, you can actually do this on Xbox One now. It's great. It's got some really classic games on it, and it's just it's just really, really cool. It's just a great throwback to, you know, the arcade days and whatnot else, and it's really awesome. Oh, this is another cool one. This is, again, as you can see, I love my old arcade games and throwbacks. Being the age that I sort of am, it's, you know, these are all sort of the rage back when I was little and whatnot else. So this is a really, really cool throwback thing. I don't know if that one can be done on Xbox One. I can't remember, but anyway. So yeah, the Need for Speed series, Red Dead Redemption, which is amazing, Sega Rally, and then, you know, the Serious Sam collection, awesome too. And Vanguard's an actual really dark horse of a game. Check it out if you don't know it. It's on Steam now, I think, as well. Anyway, so here we go. This is my PlayStation 3, and yeah, some of these have just been in my possession forever. I've never really... PlayStation 3 was just one of the best consoles for me. I mean, I've gone from Commodore 64, which was my first one, and still holds a very dear place in my heart, Commodore 64, and then I went on to the Sega Mega Drive, which was next. Kind of skipped the Sega Master System and stuff like that. I never had a Nintendo. I've never owned a Nintendo. I went from, you know, Commodore, I went on to Sega. Oh, sorry, I'll back up a little bit. I actually had an Atari 2600, and then I went to the Commodore 64. Then I went on to Sega Mega Drive, and then there was a bit of a time period where I didn't do anything. I had a mate that had an Amiga 500, and we used to do that, and, you know, Another World and whatnot else. But then, you know, I sort of went out of gaming for a little while, and then I got back with PlayStation 1, and it just blew my mind, and I've stuck with it. Anyway, so what else we've got here? Like Brutal Legend, that is another amazing game if you like sort of the rock music. It's so cool. Blur is another very cool game that it doesn't get enough recognition, I thought. But anyway, it's like Mario Kart really on with real cars and stuff like that. But it's kind of cool. It's a good concept, and it is a bit of fun, and that's what really the games are about. Anyway, moving on. Dante's Inferno, which is great. Gran Turismo 6. I've played a little bit of it, and yes, graphically it's great and whatnot else, but I haven't really put too much time into it. God of War, yes. Golden Axe. This is actually really good. I mean, I know this had a bit of a throwback to, you know, the old arcade, and it was amazing. And this just takes in a little bit different thing, but it's actually worth the look. It is a good game. It's different to what you think, but it's good. It is really, really fun. This was, you know, bought for me. I mean, I think I've got Grand Theft Auto on nearly every platform at the moment. But yeah, Race Driver Grid, which was amazing. Homefront, I haven't touched it only because I've been playing Homefront on the PlayStation 4, and it was great. So I just I grabbed that for like next to nothing, like $4 or something like that, and I just haven't looked at it yet, but just want to. I've been told it's not very good. The Hot Wheels ones are more my son's, and I got the collector's edition of Juiced just because it is still a fun game. What else? Anyway, so you got Rage. I'm a huge fan of Bethesda. Their games are amazing. They really have struck a chord with me, with who I am as a person and the way that I like to game, and yeah, they speak true to me. So I love Bethesda games. Just sort of, you know, Resident Evil, which is always amazing. The Resistance is, wow, took up a lot of my time. Great story, loved it. The third one is amazing too. I don't think it gets enough recognition. Obviously, I got Rugby League and the Sega Mega Drive collection. You can't go past that. So these two here were kind of ones that I've always wanted, and I finally got around to them. They were kind of hard to find as well, and just really hard to find. I mean, I think, you know, on eBay this was going for sometimes like $60 or something like that, which was ridiculous. And I just found it at a flea market actually, and I think I paid under $10 for it, but it's in really, really good nick. I think the good thing about getting it from a flea market is that it, you know, usually is only owned by one person, or they just had to stand up. And then yeah, this has got the reverse cover on it, and it's just, you know, just so awesome. And yeah. So they're both Singularity. Now, this was something that I was told to get onto, and this is sort of a recent one. It's, you know, people say that it has a bit of a BioShock kind of, I don't know, thing happening, and it's got this really, really cool time mechanic in it and whatnot else. So anyway, I will get around to this. This is only sort of a recent game. I've got this, it's brand spanking new. I have taken it out of its cellophane, but I was really, really lucky on that. As I said, I'm really tinny. Split Second is still awesome game. It's hard, but it's awesome. Starhawk, again, I'm using the reverse cover on that, but it's still, you know, a very, very good and underrated game, I think. And yeah, the other two, obviously, Tomb Raider, you know, trilogy, you can't go past that. You get to, you know, go back to the remastered anniversary edition and whatnot else. So yeah, there you go. I don't know if I really want to get into these. I can quickly for you. But yeah. Oh, by the way, they're all my little, you know, I had to look for some bookends, and I've got some really cool ones like, you know, Portal, and these are really, really interesting. There's Ludo from Jim Henson's Labyrinth. And yeah, anyway, that was Dad's, by the way. I remember it was probably one of the things I really recognised when I got to his house before he passed away. And anyway, so yeah, this is what I've got in here. These are just, as I said, these are just don't have any covers, but the originals and what else. So you got Prey, Black Ops. Oh, Black. Jeez, I've got it on PlayStation 2 as well. Midway Treasures. That's a really, really cool game. I love that. You run around and, you know, third person and then instantly transform, and it's a really, really fun game, actually. You should look into that. Turok, you can't go past Turok. Amazing. Jaws Unleashed. That's a really, really different game, but tons of fun. Burnout Revenge. Burnout series is amazing. Capcom Classics. This is becoming quite rare as well, but it's tons of fun. As you can see, I've always got my, you know, my nostalgia Namco and, you know, Activision and stuff like that. They're always good to actually have. They're like a little bit of a good ports and remastered sometimes. And this one here, I just, you know, had hanging around, and I don't know, it holds a dear place in my son's heart. He just remembers it so well. Fifth Element, different but kind of cool. Oh, Disruptor. Oh wow, this is just so awesome. Just such an awesome game. It's I don't know, it was very different for me, and I still enjoy playing it today. It's really cool. Ape Escape. Wow, you can't go past Ape Escape. That's just, I finished that thing. It was just such a fun game. Driver, classic. So there you go. So that's that one. These ones here are just sort of like different ones. I haven't really even played that one, but I have played that. It's really weird. Wild Adventure, I've definitely played that. Disney Collections. This is freaking odd. So when I've either gone like overseas, like to Bali or Indonesia or wherever, pick up these years and years ago. So you put this in, and it's Batman games. Yeah, weird. These are just ones that I actually had from the originals from years ago, but an original Resident Evil. Anyway, so that's them. So, guess where we move on to is that these are all the Blu-rays. Now, some of these were Dad's, and I kind of, be honest, Dad had a huge collection. Like, it was massive collection. It would have filled this up, like, I think it was like 2 times easily. I had them stacked up to here when I first got here and unpacked everything, and it was just insane. Yeah, miss you, Dad, but yeah, you bought a lot of stuff. Like there was like triple copies and stuff like that. So what I've done is I've kept what I want and, you know, moved the rest of them on, either sold them or given them away, and, you know, whatnot else. So I mean, some of them I've been enjoying my 4K. Like I recently got, you know, Covenant. Oh, by the way, I've put it this way because that's how the story's sort of told. I know the Alien itself and the Aliens and what else is kind of a little bit different. These two are in the series, but I prefer to put them there. Anyway, African Queen is just something that Dad had, and I watched it with him, and I wanted to keep it. So that's kind of like why these ones here, like African Queen, and you know, you see Casino and whatnot else, and that's in there because it's, you know, think about Dad, I guess. Avatar, I think about Mum about that one, but anyway, Baywatch, I really enjoyed that, and it's just one of those movies that, you know, the soundtrack was amazing, and yeah. So I won't go through all of them, but, you know, there's a few 4Ks in there, and, you know, like Logan and Kong, whatnot else, but yeah. Love my movies, just love them. When I was a child, Dad, when he first got the beta cord before VHS, he, on his way home from work, Mum would be making dinner, and he'd come home and we'd have dinner, and then we'd sit down for movie night. And what he would actually do is that he would put his hand over the spine of the VH or the beta cord, and I would not get to see the title of the movie, and he would put it in there, and then the movie would start. And that's where my fascination for you know, screenplay writers and composers and directors, producers, stuff like, because back in, you know, the 80s and stuff like that, there was never really, they didn't just come up straight away and say Arnold Schwarzenegger or, you know, whoever. It was all about the people that were behind it that actually made it. It would do all those titles first, and then it would say who stars in it. So that's where my fascination for movies come from. That's where my fascination for directors and producers more come from, and that's what I base my collection on now, is more about that kind of thing and what else. Anyway, silly, but okay. So this is the first part of my collectibles. You see the Thanos. This is an actual pretty cool. He's just a money box, and yeah, it's just different. I like it. So yeah, so these are sort of mine from when I was a child, and then that's my son, and then these are sort of just bits and pieces that we had, and we can't, you know, well, obviously, you know, that's recent, or not recent, but, you know, last couple of years. And anyway, so these are mine. As you can see, there's M.A.S.K, and then there's He-Man and Skeletor and Voltron, Oil Panic at the back, and I think that's Parachute, yeah. And then I've got Snoopy Tennis. They all work, by the way. They're still really good nick and whatnot else. And as you can see, all my Smurfs, I got these from like BP when they had the promotion, and these have just been in my possession all that time, and they're just really cool. I don't know, just really cool. And here, these are, as I said, these are my sons. This is just all a jumble of, you know, whether it was just marbles and whatnot else. And this is a bit of rock that he actually found, and it's you know, he thought it was a meteor, but anyway. And yeah, so these are called Wubba Westlers, and this still works, by the way. And yeah, and these can't remember what they were called. I think they were called beanies, but they you know, they have, like, you know, you can actually see Iron Fist there and whatnot else, and yeah, I don't know, that was a weird thing. I think they stopped them because children were bloody, you know, swallowing them or whatever. And then this is actually a remote control, but we can't find the remote for it, but it's still like a cool piece, really. It looks amazing. The boot is gone on it, or what you guys, you know, Americans call it trunk, but yeah, the boot is gone on it, and he's kind of like recent. He's just super cool, and this is mine from when I was a kid. Yeah. Now down here, this was this was basically the first album that I bought so long ago, and this one here, Dark of the Moon, this was Dad's last purchase, so they all got a bit of a thing. This here, The Abyss, now this is the first movie Dad ever bought that was a special edition, and it was kind of a bit crazy in our house because we'd never heard of a special edition, and being, you know, a huge movie family, we were so fascinated to watch the extras on it, which was a completely different VHS. and that's what's inside their VHSs. And it was just mind-blowing to know how they did certain scenes, which you didn't do before. Now it's like a standard thing on Blu-rays and DVDs, but back then they just didn't have it. It was amazing. That was my sister's. It was just, I don't know, I can't remember where she got it from, but I've sort of kept it for her. And when else, and this is just something that my son bought me. And yeah, these were back when 3D movies first came out, and you got those, and I still had them. They've never been worn, and yeah, different to what 3D movies are today anyway. So and quickly, that's my Batman. He's so awesome, eh? He's like the best. So cool. Went all the way back from the city on the train with that, because I couldn't find him anywhere, and I found him at Zing up in Perth. So yeah. And Scorpion, this was from Mortal Kombat X, as you can see there. It's really highly detailed. It's so cool. Dust collector, but anyway. And this is from Doom, and like just the recent one. So cool. I mean, there's like a little switch, and yeah, can't really see it now, but it's awesome. Looks so cool during the night, and yeah. Anyway, it says Boba Fett. This is just like a nightlight, would you believe? It's just a simple. I don't know if this actually goes though. Yeah, it does. So that's a simple sort of nightlight, but I just chucked it up there. And this here, this Iron Man thing, these were Dad's. I think he's got, like, when he's bought like special editions and whatnot else, he got that given to him. I've never opened them. I don't know. I didn't know what to do with them. I did actually have them on eBay there for a little while, but then I just sort of gave up. This guy here, wow, this is an amazing model. Statue, if you will. He's totally posable. He's so cool. And would you believe I picked him up for $50? The actual box itself had been too close to a display, a light, and it had burnt and was a little bit destroyed. And so yeah, so I picked him up for $50. He's so cool. This here is just a replica, and picked that up, you know, sort of recently, sort of maybe to, you know, a bit of cosplay or whatever later on. And but yeah, totally all works. It's pretty cool. And now here, so damn, I'm not going to be able to get a good light to watch or look at everything. Sorry. Anyway, so this is probably better. So my top shelf is my superheroes. I don't think I really need to explain all those to you, but that's just what I've got so far. I'm happy with it. I didn't want them to be too crowded or whatnot else, and yeah, I mean, I really like Magic and, you know, Sapphire. The girls are always a good addition, and yeah, I think I'm happy with where it is now. This is my TV and movie, and you know, always a cool thing. And I've just recently got Rick. This was, you know, throwback to my childhood as well, watching Batman on the TV. And yeah, these are reimagined ones, and you know, he's reimagined too, and Sauron. And this has actually got the ring itself, which is it's by Weta. It's pretty amazing. It's supposed to be correct weight and everything, so that's awesome. Yeah, so Predator, and he's in his cloaking sort of thing. That's me. I've actually just done that. I picked that up from like Target or something like that, and I just did it. It's silly. I think it was like the first one I ever did before I got into this kind of stuff, and I was like, this is sweet. Yeah, and then these are all my gaming ones. This is the gaming shelf. Yeah, Overwatch, and it's funny, that some of these women are so sexualized, but yeah, I mean, look at this. This is from the PlayStation 1 game, Metal Gear Solid, and this is supposed to be Sniper Wolf, but I mean, how sexualized is that? That's crazy. Anyway, there's my Pip-Boy, and Titanfall, and Spawn, Cade 6, Moxie, and yeah, obviously my Tomb Raiders. But yeah, cool. And then down here is sort of like a bit of a jumble. Obviously you see my other money box from Fallout, and these are kind of just like little things that, you know, like this thing here was a something that was made for me, and it's just made out of screws and stuff, and I've just always kept it. My Wookiee, a cool holder, drinks holder. This is brought back to me from Disneyland from my mum, and yeah, this is all my Lego. Like, crazy, hey, this is from the 1980s. Apparently it goes for a bit of money, but yeah, that's all still in there. There's all instructions and everything, and yeah. Oh, and the other thing as well, when I had this, when I pulled it all out, it was really, really dirty, like just yuck, just from me as a kid, and probably just dribbling all over it or chewing on it or whatever. And I looked online, there was a couple of different ways to actually clean it, but what I ended up doing was putting it into a laundry bag, throwing it in with like a towel or a tea towel or whatever into the washing machine, and just washing it. Came out amazing. So yeah, didn't damage it or anything, it just cleaned it all up. It was really, really good idea. So yeah, so that's that. That's all of me. This was recently, this is my couch. Oh, it introduced you to this guy here, my cuddly face hugger. This is just something that I recently painted as well. It's just something that I'm sort of doing at the moment. I'm getting there. It's pretty cool. Happy with that. Anyway, so all up the top is all my special editions and, you know, sleeves and whatnot else. And so there you go. I don't know where to go from here with my channel. I'm still going to be doing my PCs and stuff like that, and you know, going from there. I mean, if you want to, I will take you for a bit of a walk. Coming through here, you always see the back of this when I'm doing my videos. And yeah, here's all my stuff that I'm sort of doing. I mean, these are things that I still had that I don't know where to put, and it was looking a little bit jumbled. As you can see, there's more collectibles here, and there's Vampirella there, and you know, Spawn Commando, and you know, Gizmos in there with these different faces and on a Starscream and stuff like that. So as you can see, there's Dancing Groot there, but yeah, I mean, even in here, I mean, I think I've still got there's still like controllers and whatnot else, and you know, bloody motherboards and whatnot else, and I'm getting there. I mean, this is the computer room, and there's the extra speakers I was telling you about. There's the box from one of the videos I did for my unpacking of the PlayStation Pro White. And yeah, so this is, I don't know if I'll go through all this, but I think I've done a video on that. I don't need to go through that, but yeah, that is a cool controller, Battlefield 1. It's a wired one, but it works so well. But anyway, so there you go. So thanks guys for watching. I know this has gone on for 45 or nearly 45 minutes, which is just crazy, but yeah, there you go. This is sort of, hopefully this gives you a bit of a more understanding of where I am, and you know, my gaming side of things and movie side of things and whatnot else. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed watching and getting to know me a little bit better, and go from there. Anyway, any comments you want to do, just leave them below, and I'll do my absolute best to get back to them. And yeah, thanks guys, bye.